So there's kind of three different ways that companies are valued in the industry right now, okay? And I'm generalizing this. I want to just disclaimer that every deal is incredibly nuanced and very personal based on what's important to the seller and what's important to the buyer. But let's jump right in. So the traditional way that companies are valued is still the number one way that it happens. It is an EBITDA valuation of your last 12 months. So look at your last 12 months. If your P&Ls are through, what are we in right now, September?
Sure.
Yes. If your last 12 months are through August, so September of 2021 through August of 2022, find the net income there, and then make the adjustments for EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. You will also have other adjustments that we could obviously talk about at another time. And if your company is making $1 million or less in that last 12 months, then you're likely going to be in that 3 to 5x range of your last 12 months, okay? If your company is making more than $1 million, if it's making about $1 to $3 million, you're a very, very big company here in our industry. But those multiples can go up some. You can see it kind of go from that 5 to, let's call it 6.5, 7 range. Very dependent on a lot of other factors though. Market is super important. What market are you in? What does the regulatory environment look like in those markets? What is the quality of the inventory that you're managing? What is the infrastructure of your company? How are the staff? There's a lot of different factors there, so that's one way. Way number two is a top line metric. And this is where some companies, if they're already in your market or if they're a national player, they might already have the infrastructure in that market, so they don't care as much about your expenses because they will just layer in their own margins of how that looks. So they'll look in at the last 12 months, but they'll look around a 1 to a 1.3, 1.25x multiple of your revenues. And I know we're in the vacation rental industry, so there's no standard definition of revenues. Every P&L has a different definition, but your revenues are not the owner's portion, okay? So it's going to be your commissions plus all of your ancillary fees, your cleaning fees, your booking fees, your limited damage waiver fees, your pet fees, your whatever you charge a guest or homeowner maintenance fees. That is how that looks. The third way that we see is it counts kind of as a checks and balances for some of the bigger deals, but for some of the smaller ones that are like 50 units and below, these deals are more of contract purchases. And buyers will do this where they'll kind of value each individual contract instead of kind of valuing a company. Because as these companies get smaller, they're more mom and pops than full companies. So instead of layering in expenses, they might say, we'll see around like 25 to 50% of a unit's annualized rents will be what that unit is worth. So if a unit does around $50,000 a year in rents, then a buyer would pay between $12,500 and $25,000 for that particular unit. Do we have any questions on that?